Welcome to the one of the first TYG stream. Well, yeah, first TYG stream that we've ever done. So
Yeah,
yeah, so as if you can see already, we're gonna be doing hatred. We're gonna be talking about hatred. Okay. So yeah.
yeah. And I'm just gonna give a brief intro of the game. Hatred was the second ever AO rated game and the first ever AO rated game on Steam. What an AO stands for is the ESRB's rating of adults only. You have to be 18 plus to play the game, or you have to be 18 plus to buy the game, or that's what's recommended. It doesn't sell in stores, so console people can't get it. It got kicked off a Steam green light, and then somebody had to come on and say, you know what, come on, bring it back. We're not going to change it, but bring it back. And yeah, and now it's on Steam. You can buy it for $20, and um, Ghost is going to ask the questions, and I'm going to answer them.
So what do you honestly think about the violence? Like, did they take it too far?
Well, by playing the game, I think. Oh man, I thought that was going to be good, but it looks horrible. Should I keep it like that or change it?
Just keep it. Just try to keep your head centered.
All right. Um, by playing.
It
I'm
looks too
sorry.
close, don't it?
Get it. Uh, man, let me move that back. I just move it just back so much.
There. But this overlay. This works better. Mine is this. This is the most. Since this is the first time I've ever done that, we're gonna do this. Just gonna move
Yeah,
this over hatred. Alright. Get up. Throw
yeah.
that over. Done.
All right. Anyway, as far as the violence goes, I think that they definitely made it over the top over what it should have been. They was making it a big deal because it's killing innocent people, and I get that. But as far as bloodiness goes, it's really realistic. Like when you're chopping someone's throat open, it's not like trunks of blood just spilling out everywhere and death and disparity. And oh my god, somebody give some people some help that's playing this game. I've played it, and as far as my ruling on violence goes, the game was built on violence, but I don't feel like everyone should be having a bitch fit like they are.
All right. Let's see. Oh yes. Like, what if you had to rate this game in like realistic? What would you rate it? Like 1 to 10?
When we say realism, are we
Like,
talking about graphics or are we talking about setting?
setting, graphics, all around.
Okay. All around realism, the black and white takes away from it, but I think it's more of an emotional thing with the character because the only colors you see is the red of blood, the cop lights. You can see the red of blood, the red and blue of the cops lights, and you can see the reddish orangish of the explosions. So for me it's like, this character he's cold. He can't see anything except except what he wants to see, which is the violence and the destruction of the world around him. So, but that's just adding on another point of what I'm gonna say. So, out of 10, as far as realism goes, I could definitely see how this would happen in real life. So, I'm gonna give this about an 8.5 out of 10 for realism.
Not including the person in the background.
Damn it!
um. So
What the hell? Oh shit.
gameplay mechanics. How realistic would you say they are?
Okay, it's for the controller. It's a twin stick shooter. I have not played it like that. I played it keyboard and mouse. I found the controls very agreeable. I like the way you aim because it is a top down shooter. So I feel like the way you aim has to be good. And I felt like they did a really good job with the controls. They don't feel stiff, but they don't feel floaty either. It's a perfect mix of the two.
So what do you think about the top-down view from the game? You think they should have went a bit more in depth with that instead of just doing what they did?
Definitely. They definitely should have taken out the top down view because that's another reason. Like on Grand Theft Auto, they did about 4 games. They did they did the GTA 1, GTA 2, GTA Advance, and then GTA London 1969 and 1970 something. Those were the top down games, and then they just went back to that for Chinatown Wars for some reason. I don't know why, but The
Yeah.
top down view takes away from your overall immersiveness in the game. Now with Hatred, I don't feel like they should have went first person because when you're doing executions it would have been too much. But I feel like they should have at least made it a third person over the shoulder type view because that's how you can measure realism with that's how you can compare the realism with being able to see everything or being able to see what the guy from Hatred would most likely see. So if there's cops behind you, you wouldn't necessarily know it.
All right. So let me fix the image here.
No. Don't you don't have to don't fix anything. I'm gonna put it back.
Okay. But
It's just
let's
when
see.
people walk by.
How graphically intense is the game?
I'm laughing because I have horrible hardware. So I'm probably the wrong person to ask about this. But it seems like it shouldn't be that graphically intensive. It just crashes my graphics card every single time I play it. But I don't have Nvidia or AMD or anything like that. I have a regular, just generic ass Intel HD graphics card. So that says a lot about me and my hardware. But I feel like the game at points, like when you get with the physics, can be really graphics intensive because the explosions will break anything. You can break holes in walls so easily just by doing explosions. Like if there's like gas tanks by a wall and you shoot the gas tanks, you got a new exit.
So how immersive is the story really?
Well, I've only played in the first area, and to me, it has the feel like the story has a feel of a mobile game, like Dead Trigger, where you're moving from area to area, and then you're fucking shit up in the area, and then you're moving on to the next place. But as far as the story goes, from what I've seen, and I've watched gameplay to see, how far you can get, I think the story is really just the story of a guy who starts out, kills everyone in his neighborhood, and then he moves on and he branches on and on and on and on, and he just kills and kills until he meets his violent death that he so craves, and trying to take as much of humanity as he can with him. Which I mean, I could see how if someone just gets fed up with people, how they could want to do that.
Do you really think it should have been rated AO though?
The only reason they rated it AO is because of context. They realized how realistic the context was, but hell no. There's games like Postal. That game was that game was realistic to an extent, real enough that if they're gonna say that that Hatred should be AO, this should definitely be AO. And don't quote me on this, but Honey Pop. I don't know if that game is or is not
I think it
AO.
is AO.
Okay, well then that makes Hatred the second AO game on Steam.
Well, technically, actually no, I think it is. I might have to check up on that. Let me check.
Yeah, your internet is faster than mine, so you should check. But anyway, depending on whether it is or isn't, Honey Pop definitely should have been AO. That game had naked titties and simulated sex. So I mean that says a lot right there. And when I think about the ratings, I think that they're doing that from the standpoint of how much, like, how inclined would I be to say it's okay for a 4-year-old to play this game? Because it goes from EC to AO, it goes from early childhood to adults only, and in between it's early childhood, everyone 10 plus, teen, mature, adults only, and
I don't even know what the rating
on
is for this game. I'm trying to see.
and I feel like Hatred should fall into the M category because of the games that are in the M category, like Grand Theft Auto 5. That game is set in realism, and even though they say it's not your primary objective, you are rewarded for killing innocent pedestrians. They do drop money, so technically, I mean, yeah. And Watch Dogs, that's rated M, and you're not rewarded as much for killing innocent pedestrians, but you are rewarded from harming them. You can steal their bank account numbers. You can just you can commit identity theft. You can steal their bank account numbers. You can steal the keys to their car. You can, like, steal music right off their phone. So, for these games where you can just harm and kill innocent pedestrians, even though it might not be the main focus, you can still do it and you can get away with it and you're rewarded for doing so. For those to be rated M, but a game like Hatred where you that is your objective, I don't see why it should be rated AO. I didn't feel like the violence was so much. It's like Mortal Kombat X, okay? That game is or Mortal Kombat any of them. Yes, they're not set in realism, which is the only thing that keeps them from being AO. The fact, I mean, you can do an uppercut and take someone's head off. You can split someone open and go, "Here's Johnny." And the fact that you can do all of that and the goriness, that game is set on gore and nothing else. And the fact that you can do all of that and not have it be rated AO is kind of astounding. And another thing, stop with the ratings. I don't think there should be any more ratings because I am well under 18 and was able to get this game in under an hour. All I had to do was just download this the C++. That's the only thing my computer was missing. But yeah, I was able to get this game in under an hour due to my sources, which I will not be naming. Um, yeah, I'm well under 18. So
um,
that just tells you how effective that shit really is.
so
Plus, don't act. I mean, and Call of Duty is a perfect example. How many little kids do you hear on Call of Duty? Those are rated AO. I mean, not rated AO, but rated M games. They're all violent and you're shooting. That's set in mega realism. You're set in war, straight
no,
out war.
Battlefield is worse because
I've
it
never
that is
played
more
Battlefield,
accurate
so I
if
don't know, but
anything. So Call of Duty is
I
more
know
of
there's one
just
game.
fast paced,
I think it
harder
was a
to shoot
Medal of
everyone.
Honor game. I remember one of them got in trouble for it. One of the Navy SEALs that was on the mission to kill Osama bin Laden. I don't know, like I'm not getting into politics. I'm not on that shit. But he got in trouble, or something was said about him giving information about it to help create a video game, and I think it was part of the Medal of Honor series. I remember really wanting to play that game, but now I don't remember the name, so I can't. Yeah, so I'm just saying, for all these games to be set in hyper realism and not be rated AO, or to have so much blood and gore that it wouldn't matter if it was set in realism and not be AO, I feel like they're being unfair to Hatred because, as far as I've seen, you don't rip someone's heart. The most gory thing you do is bash someone's head in with your foot, which I mean is gory as fuck, but still, that's all you do really is decapitations. You don't you don't do that Tanya move where you hang on your opponent's shoulders and kick your feet through their chest and take out their heart and have their intestines hanging on your neck. You don't do that,
Yeah.
So I feel like ratings should not be a thing because they don't matter. You hear all these 10-year-old, I'm just saying this as an example. You hear all these 10-year-olds and 6-year-olds and whatnot playing Call of Duty, and obviously they're not stealing the game. You know, I don't think that you can be that young and walk into a GameStop and actually be able to get this game for, just stealing it off the shelf because one, they keep the discs behind the counter so you can't get them. Because imagine, you got a whole bunch of teenagers walking in there, mostly. And how many people have gotten to say that they lived through their entire teenage years without stealing one thing from the store? I mean, I've stolen gum before, honestly, because I just fucking love that gum, and I didn't have the money on me right now because I didn't have any money on me at all, and I just did not feel like going home and getting it and coming back. That's just too much. But I mean, I'm just saying,
Okay.
ratings don't matter. They don't.
Yeah. Even if
The parents have to be parents, and if they don't want their kids playing this, don't fucking let them.
it shouldn't like. Well, the one thing that you're saying about little kids playing games on PC, there's like you can always fake stuff, so you can always get Steam like any game you really want on Steam.
True. I mean,
You can
I was
always
born in
download stuff.
1945. If you want to ask my Steam account, my birthday was July 23rd, 1945.
According to mine, I was born in 1900.
His old ass. That would make you 115. About.
It's off by 101 years. Okay.
Wait a minute. Oh, you're 14, right?
Yeah. 2001.
Yeah.
Um. Is there really much else we can really say about it?
Um, it's not really much else I can say about Hatred other than from a game standpoint. And I feel like one thing I can't talk about is the objectives. The objectives were wonderfully morbid, and I love it. Like, I heard this electro music coming from a party that I did not know was an objective, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna kill everyone in this house anyway because they're playing that shitty ass electro music. And then as soon as I get close to the house, "Waste the Party" comes up on the screen. I'm like, wait a minute. I'm killing these guys for playing crappy music, and I'm getting rewarded for it? Awesome. And then I was watching Mr. Epsilon play, and it said something about waste the funeral procession. And I'm like, hold up. You're telling me that there's a funeral going on, and I'm killing everyone at the funeral? That is the way to die. Other than being in a Final Destination movie where pretty much everyone dies of irony. So I mean, yeah,
I don't know what that
the
was. Something
object,
popped up.
the objectives are definitely cool. It's a nice way to add something to the game if you really needed to. And other than that, there's not really too much else to say about Hatred.
All right. Well, I guess that kind of wraps up our first Young Gunners um stream.
Yeah.
I hope you guys enjoyed. This will be on YouTube. So
Yes.
yeah. See you guys.
Also, both of our individual channel links will be in the description. I'm MD. He's Go.